Hi, this is Cathy Goodwin, and recently I was asked a question. I have a job and I want to do something more creative. So, how do I change careers for more creativity? Well, here's what a lot of people look like in their current job. You're in a cubicle, you're working at a desk, you're looking at numbers, and you're probably wearing a suit and tie or the equivalent for a woman, and you're bored out of your mind. Well, so what you say is, I want to do something more creative. Maybe do some painting, do some drawing, do some writing. Or maybe you want to help people become a doctor or a nurse. But what's right for you? Well, you may be advised to take career tests. And if you've followed me for any amount of time, you know how I feel about career tests. If you've been working a while, your career test will show that you are perfectly suited to the job you have now. You can also do little exercises, like one of them is to ask yourself, what do you like to read? Or when you go to a bookstore, what section do you find yourself gravitating toward? And those are not bad tests, but they're really hard to translate into meaningful jobs and career choices. Or you can take a vacation, which is not a bad idea, although you may find yourself stressing while you're on vacation the whole time, like, what am I supposed to be doing? What's waiting for me when I get back? So the best thing to do is to take some kind of action. For example, if you have any sense of what you might want to do, and I usually encourage people to pick 3 career fields, and most people I work with do have some inclination, impractical or not, about career fields they are interested in. So if you can do that, identify people who are already in those fields and talk to them. That is the single best way to move ahead. Identify at least 3 or 4. If you talk to 1 or 2 and they say the same thing, keep going until you find some difference, something that breaks the pattern, because otherwise you get the same responses and you'll cut off your inquiry too soon. And the reason you want to do this is that careers look different from the inside. For example, a lot of people say, well, I want to be a doctor or a nurse because I want to help people and heal people and do good. But I have had doctors and nurses as clients, and they look like this. They're tearing their hair out. A lot of doctors and nurses will tell you that what they're doing does not feel like healing. It doesn't even feel good. It feels in some cases like they're just pushing paper. Sometimes they feel they're actually not helping people at all. They may feel that they're doing things to make people worse. So talk to people and find out how those careers feel to them and how they might feel to you. And again, there is no one answer. Some people love being doctors and nurses, and some people would rather do anything else. So let's say you're completely stuck, though. You have no idea what you want to do. At that point, the best thing to do is to make space in your life. Give yourself room for new ideas and for a new career. And the way you can do that is first do something different in your current situation. Don't wait till you're in your new job, but find something large or small. It might be taking a different road to go to work. It might be taking a weekend excursion to a place you haven't been, but something different, something that breaks your pattern. This is not a scientific explanation, but I think of it as breaking up your brain cells and getting your mind moving in a different direction. And exercise. Definitely do something physical. Now, I'm a big believer in going to the gym. I love working out, so that's what I do. And I also walk because I have a dog and I'm forced to. So you may find something different that you like. But once you start exercising, your brain will start moving in a different way as well as your body. And this really, really helps in career change. A lot of people are surprised because I'm saying, what has that got to do with my career? But really, once you're working out, once you're physically active, you're moving in new directions and you've got space in your life for your next career. Find something creative to do in your current life. There's almost always places to take classes if you're new. I've been taking ceramics since I moved to Philadelphia. I don't do this with throwing. I do hand building and sculpture, but you can do any kind of clay. Some people find that very relaxing. We joke in my ceramics class that it's like our weekly therapy, but you may want to take drawing or painting or writing or just do it on your own. Anything that makes you creative, because that works a different part of your brain and gets you open to new ideas and gets you thinking in a new way. And most important, keep talking to people everywhere, at parties, on the bus, on airplanes, at networking meetings. Just keep talking, because the more you talk to people specifically about your situation or more generally about work, the faster, the more likely your solution will become clearer to you. Here are 3 important things to remember about career change. First, change rarely happens fast. Often I'll have a client say, "My husband thinks I should be done with my career change. It's been 6 months." It's more likely going to take 2 to 3 years or even longer. That doesn't mean you stop everything and just do this searching full time for 2 or 3 years, of course. What it means is that during that time, you're looking and becoming aware until you actually make a change into something that is more satisfying for you. It's very important to look for things to enjoy along the way. I find people get into a trap of saying, "Well, I'm all miserable and tense now, but once I'm in my new job, I'll feel better." You have to find things to do now, because otherwise by the time you get there, you'll have been programmed to feel negative about a lot of things. So it's very important to find ways to have fun, to lighten up. I know this can be very hard. I have trouble with this myself, but to really be happier as you are on the journey. And third, get free information, but pay for advice. Again, if you've been following me, you've heard me say this before. So what do I mean? Well, when you're asking people for information, when you're doing your networking, or you meet people at parties and events, and you talk to them in their offices, a lot of people will start to advise you. They'll say things like, "Well, if I were in your position," or "Here's what I would do if I were looking for a new career," or "Here's what you should do." Most of that advice is not worth the time you spend listening. What you want to do when you talk to people who are out in the field and you're not paying, you're asking for information, is just that. Ask for facts. So instead of saying, "What do you think I should do?" or "What would you advise someone going into your field?" you might say something like, "What is a typical day like for you in your job?" Or, "Have you met people recently who have entered your field, and what kinds of things are they saying to you?" Or, "Have you noticed a difference in the way your field is evolving? What are some specifics?" Get them to give you facts. If they start moving into advice, and they will, sometimes they'll say, "Well, here's what I would do." If you can't get them back to information, you're wasting everyone's time. If you want advice, go ahead and pay for it, because you'll get someone objective, someone who knows the score, someone who knows how to evaluate different types of situations and will customize the advice for you. Because someone who says, "Here's what I would advise you to do," who entered a field 30 years ago, they probably have no clue of what it's like to get into the field now. So why a career consultant? First of all, you'll be talking to someone who has experience with different types of fields. A lot of times when you're interviewing for information, you meet people who know one field, their own, and they just speak about their own experience. But a career consultant has a variety of experiences, and not only that, has experience working with people who are changing careers, so they can speak to your situation much more effectively. And secondly, you can get recommendations for actions and resources that are customized to you. And finally, you will avoid wearing out your family and your friends. Let me tell you, this happens. I've had so many clients who said, "My husband is so tired of talking to me about my career," or "My wife doesn't want to hear the word career change ever again." Or their colleagues. For one thing, you don't want to ever talk to your colleagues about career change. Those are the last people you should be talking to. You have to be very careful and very discreet. And your friends, well, friends want to be around you when you're going through tough times, but they also want to see you making progress. They won't keep listening. At a certain point, they're going to say, "Why are you still doing this? How come you're not there yet?" And a consultant will give you some perspective. So if you want to work with me, you can go to my website, midlifecareerstrategy.com, and I have a tab there for services. And I also have a tab for career guides, which are ebooks and recordings that you can listen to and get more information on your own. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you again on a future video. And I wish you the very best of luck with your career change and career choice.